Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We're only 8 weeks in to Hamza Yousaf's reign of error, and yet he has had a tumultuous time, an awful time, a terrible time. Everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. Mind you, he is mostly to blame for this because he has made some very, very bad decisions, especially in who he filled his cabinet with. But it's about to get even worse. There are rumours of a mutiny, a rebellion, a revolution. The MPs at Westminster are very unhappy with his leadership, or lack thereof, they are saying, and they want some kind of idea as to the direction he wants to take the party. They are threatening to revolt, although to be fair, they've been revolting for quite some time, especially the likes of Patrick Grady. They're all complaining that they're likely to lose their seats, though, of course, in Grady's case, it would just enable him to spend more time with other people's teenage children. But we'll take a look to see what's going on and why Hamza Yousaf clearly hasn't got a clue. Here goes. So Hamza Yousaf's leadership blasted as MPs worried about losing 15 seats, including Anam Kazar and Patrick Grady. The new First Minister has had a tumultuous 8 weeks in charge of the SNP, which could be about to get even worse with a mutiny among his MPs. They don't like him, they're not happy with his leadership, they're saying he has no control, no authority, and everything is going completely wrong because the man is first of all, he's an idiot, he's a moron, and secondly, he cannot help himself but to surround himself with other morons. Not that there's a lot of choice in the SNP, but every decision he makes is, without fail, the wrong decision. And after he was elected, he should have united the party. He could have done this. He could have brought Kate Forbes in. He could have given Ash Regan a small but nevertheless, important role in government. And yet he chose not to. He aligned himself with his lickspittles, his sycophants, and he has split the party right down the middle. A party already riven by division on the gender bill, on the bottle return scheme, on even how to go about trying to get independence. They have no chance at all, especially with this idiot in charge. But anyway, Hamza Yousaf's nightmare start to his reign as the First Minister shows no sign of abating, as his leadership was called into question by disgruntled MPs scared of losing their seats. Of course they are. They're all scared of it because they know they've got no chance with what's happening all around them. It's just week after week, story after story of terrible, terrible news. And it's not helped by his lack of leadership. He doesn't know how to take control. He doesn't know how to get a grip of the news cycle. He was accused of not selling the party to the public and of having no clear strategy, as a resurgent Scottish Labour could be set to win 15 seats in previously nationalist strongholds, including Glasgow and Lanarkshire. In fact, 15, if they got 15, Labour would feel ill done by. I think if Labour took 15 seats, the SNP would count that as a victory. They're looking nearer 20. A number of prominent SNP politicians look to be under major threat, including the likes of Anam Kazar, shamed Patrick Grady, Alison Thewlis and Angus MacNeil. But seeing Patrick Grady out of Parliament wouldn't be anybody's loss, would it? How that man is not behind bars is a mystery to me. Out of Stephen Flynn's front bench, 5 of the 23 are in trouble, including new SNP Treasurer Stuart MacDonald, David Linden, Chris Stevens and Carol Monaghan. Scandals which have engulfed the party in both Glasgow and Lanarkshire have damaged the party in the polls, leading the electorate to potentially look elsewhere. It's already being shown. Indeed, the entire central belt could fall. If that's the case, that would be humiliating, and Hamza Yousaf would be expected to go. Mr Yousaf could face a troubling first major loss in the autumn, when the expected by-election in Rutherglen and Hamilton West is predicted to happen. Former Nat MP Margaret Ferrier lost her appeal against a 30-day ban from Westminster, which means she now faces a recall petition. I did the story about that yesterday. It's got to go to the floor, just a brief, it's got to go to the floor of the House. They are likely to agree it, and that will be that. At the moment the result is read out by the Speaker, Margaret Ferrier is no longer an MP. You would have thought she would have saved her honour and resigned now, but she's desperate to hang this out as long as possible to still get the money, because she knows she's never going to get another job. But anyway, as soon as that's out, she's gone. They have this. It then has to have a petition. That petition needs 10% of the electorate in Rutherglen and Hamilton West. Both Labour and the Tories and the Lib Dems. Well, both. I think Labour have said they've already got the 10%, but I know that both the Tories and the Lib Dems are out canvassing their supporters just to make sure. So I think it is almost assured that the 10% limit will be reached, and there will be a recall election, and and that's it basically. Anyway, the news broke just as the SNP House of Commons cohort had been holding a summit to discuss the party's approach to the general election and to share private polling data, which I bet was a very grim read. I bet the faces were long in that room. The Times reports that this research is similar to public polling and is bleak for the Nationalists, as it shows they could lose across Glasgow and Lanarkshire, along with the Western Isles, Mid Lothian and East Lothian. It means Owen Thompson, Angus MacNeil, Angela Crawley, Dr Lisa Cameron, Stephen Bonner, Stuart MacDonald, Adam Kazar, Marion Fellows, Alison Thewlis, David Linden, Patrick Grady, Anne McLaughlin, Carol Monaghan, Stuart MacDonald, Chris Stevens, Uncle Tom Cobley and all face difficulty in securing a return to the House of Commons. I think they are out, and there could be even more of them, and especially with the boundary changes as well. You could even see, and this is not beyond the dreams of speculation here, you could even see Hamza Yousaf himself lose his seat. That would be spectacular. That would be absolutely the best thing. Anyway, Stephen Flynn, we call him Beryl, at the SNP leader at Westminster, has sprung into action to avoid a devastating result and is holding one-to-one meetings with his MPs to discuss personalised campaign plans. But within the group, some have criticised the nationalist strategy. One queried the lack of public clarity, while another added there's no strategy as yet. This is because they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea of the direction of travel. They're being led by one of the stupidest MPs to ever set foot, or MSPs, but one of the stupidest politicians to ever set foot in a chamber anywhere in the world. A man who has failed at everything, but somehow managed to fail upward every time. And now he leads a cabinet of fools, and he wonders why everything is going wrong. It's unbelievable. Actually, it's not unbelievable. It's the SNP. It's all far, far too believable. Anyway, Scottish Labour is the biggest risk to the SNP, with polling expert Sir John Curtis suggesting that the Central Belt will be a crucial battleground, with a 10-point swing from the Nationalists to the rivals already happening since the 2019 election. And a 10-point swing like that, it doesn't take too much more. And you're looking at a major set of losses for the SNP. And of course, all the time, every day, there's more and more terrible news. Not just from them, but of course, from the Greens. The Greens are attached to them. It's like a cancerous lump, and they can't shift it. And of course, if Hamza Yousaf was a true leader, he would have told the Greens to go boil their heads. He would have told them to go. He would run as a minority government. If he had the spine, if he had the ability to lead from the front. But of course he doesn't. Anyway, this is go back into Sir John Curtis told the Times that that 10-point would be enough to ensure that virtually every seat in Glasgow and Lanarkshire would become a crucial Labour SNP battleground, with Labour likely to pip the SNP in many, but although not necessarily all of them. However, even quite a modest reduction in the swing to Labour could help the SNP stave off a defeat in a number of the Glasgow and Lanarkshire seats, where the party currently looks very vulnerable. Yeah, you've got the problem in Lanarkshire, where you've got a man, Jordan, what's his name? Jordan Linden. You have Jordan Linden, a man who is now being investigated by the police for multiple incidents involving young men and possibly very young people. They're just investigating. I'm not saying at all whether he's guilty or not, of course, but he's certainly being investigated from it. There are many complainants, and you've replaced him with someone who is clearly anti-English racist, has clearly made some terrible posts in the past. You know, it's like, who is picking your people? You know, and then you've got this, and then you're going to try and cover it and smear it after firing all these people at your party and all the mass resignations. Lanarkshire is going to fall. Lanarkshire is not going to go the way you think because of what the leadership has done in this. They are covering up sex crimes and they are backing the perpetrator. They are saving the perpetrator. They are not at all concerned with the victims. And that tells you a lot about the SNP, and people are picking up on it. But that's just Lanarkshire. But it's the same everywhere. These people do not understand what they're doing. Anyway, meanwhile, in North Lanarkshire, the nationalist group have been divided and bitter following the allegations that we've just talked about with Jordan Linden. This has severely damaged the party's reputation there and lost them control of the local authority. And at the upcoming council by-election in Bells Hill, they are expected to lose heavily to Scottish Labour. In Glasgow, one seat is being cut by the boundary review, with Miss Thewlis facing a battle with either Mr Linden or Mr Grady to be elected. I think Grady will be gone. I don't think he can possibly save his career after all the allegations of him and younger people. You know, so this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a bunch of morons led by the moron in chief. It's Billy Smart's circus. It really is. And there's only one act. It's the clowns. And it's a lot of clowns. And there he is, the chief clown. Unbelievable how this party has done this. And at the next set of elections, if they do anything other than disastrously, it will be an indictment of how stupid the people who vote for them are. Unbelievable. Anyway, I shall round off there and I shall come up. But it is just stunning, isn't it? How on earth do they expect to run a country where they couldn't run a whelk stall? Anyway. So there you are. You're Hamza Yousaf. You've looked at the 8 weeks you've just had. You think it can't possibly get any worse. And now you've got 15 MPs, at least in Westminster, criticising you openly, saying that you lack direction, that you're an improper leader, that you don't know what you're doing, and that nobody has got a clue. This is your own party. You expect those sort of attacks from Labour and the Tories and the Lib Dems. You don't expect it as the party leader from your own MPs. And if you're getting that there, what are they saying behind your back? And what are they saying in Holyrood behind your back? If I was Hamza Yousaf, I'd be very worried. I'd be thinking that they're out to get me. And I think he'd probably be right. I think we are tick-tock, ticking all the way down to the last days of Hamza Yousaf's very short and very terrible regime. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed. And I shall finish. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you see here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, keep watching the channel, because it's just going to be a ride to hell until these elections happen. Goodbye.